Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. Today's new drug is it's the eve of the NCAA tournament in earnest.
Yes.
I said in earnest.
I think that's being kind.
In earnest, because it did start before. I think North Carolina is going to win the whole thing. Looked good against San Diego State. St. Diego. Okay. They did last night, so we'll talk some college hoop today. Big day today. Our friend Lee Smith stops by, the best golf analyst around, and he's got to be giddy. The tournament was so good. So good on so many levels. The weather was perfect. Even on Sunday when the weather wasn't great, they managed it perfectly.
The ratings were up.
And the ratings were fantastic. And then you have the most well-known champion you could have on the heels of one of the best player in the world, winning 2 years in a row. So I thought the Players' Championship was off the chart good this year on every level. And so, and listen, not just Lee, but the people that work at that, that's their thing, man. They spend a year getting ready for that week, and so tip of the cap. But Lee will be in here today in about 15 minutes or so to kind of talk about it, to talk about what went well, what he gleaned from it. How nerve-wracking Sunday would be. Can you only imagine how nerve-wracking all the Sunday stuff had to have been? The early start, the delay, the whole bit. But I thought they pulled it off. So we'll talk some golf coming up today. Big day at 5 o'clock today. The bracket reveal. I mean, I've heard that ESPN's going to come in here and go live.
Yes.
Is that the word on the street?
That is the word. Tokyo wants a live feed.
Well, I mean, what I was really surprised is both Fallon and Kimmel want a camera in here. Okay?
Yeah.
I think we may leave the monologue.
We can probably accommodate them.
Yeah, so the bracket reveal. Yeah, your bracket ready, JJ? I know you had it done yesterday. Did you redo it, or are you going with what you went with?
I actually was hoping we would hold off because I have Xavier maybe winning the whole thing if they get through tonight. Yes, I do have it filled out.
All right. And no second. You didn't second think after yesterday, huh? You didn't go back.
No.
I didn't know how committed. Did he sound committed to you?
He did. He's not a waffler.
No, he's not. He's not. I just want to make sure he was committed. Okay. So
listen, once it's filled out, I fill it out in pen, baby.
Yeah. I do too. By the
no
way,
scratch
I do the same thing. I fill it out in pen, and I go with what I go with. And so there's.
Although UNC's performance last night made me think maybe they could. Well, there could be an upset on the card.
I said this yesterday. I'll say this again.
I always have to make sure I filled in every.
Make sure you got all the teams. I'll say that. I'll say this again. The reason North Carolina got so much guff is because we now know the metrics we didn't know before: net and quad one wins. If this had been 7 years ago and North Carolina had been 21-13 and 13-7 in their league, nobody would have thought they don't belong. They would have been an 8 or 9 seed or whatever. But because we know that quad one stat, 1-12 in quad one wins, because we know that number, that's why they took a beating. Well, obviously, it's not the best 68 teams. It's the best. It's 31 automatic qualifiers and the next best 37 teams, I guess. Well, obviously, they're one of the next best 37. If that's what we're trying to get, if we're trying to put the best in, of course they belonged in. They didn't belong in. And by the way, that doesn't mean West Virginia didn't too. There's probably some teams that didn't. So, but North Carolina looks pretty good. So we got a lot to talk about. We'll talk some college hoop today coming up in the program as well. We'll start with golf, and then we'll get to some of that. Did you see what the Lions are proposing? The latest proposal from the Lions about the seeding?
Say that again?
The seeding.
Yes. They also proposed that defensive holding shouldn't be an automatic first down.
Okay.
But the seeding, yes.
But so there right now, the top 3 seeds in each conference, or the top 4 seeds in each conference, are the division winners. No matter what their record is, they're the top 4 seeds. And you can be 15-2 and finish second to the Chiefs in the West, and you're at best the 5 seed. And their recommendation is, let all 4 division winners get in, but then seed them based on record. Agree or disagree?
I'd be totally fine with it.
That's probably better.
It's not going to pass.
No.
So I'm surprised that they suggested it because I don't think it's going to have much of a chance of success. But, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't teams why wouldn't you want it earned on the field? Who cares? First off, the divisions are stupid anyway. I mean, the AFC South, the NFC South, there's no, I mean, they just basically had to put 4 teams together when they reshuffled it.
Right.
No, I mean, so, to be like married to your divisions, I would have no problem if they just went about it and seeded it. And it seems like the way that it goes most years, you do see that 4 seed get, a better seed than they deserve. The Texans were 10-7 last year. The Chargers were 11-6, but had to go to Houston. You look in the NFC, obviously Detroit was 15-2. So I'll give them credit for suggesting this, at least in a year where it would have benefited a rival of theirs, because Minnesota goes 14-3,
right?
But has to go on the road to 10-7 Los Angeles Rams. So I don't think that's fair. I mean, and it would add more intrigue to the final week of the season, because a lot of times these division champions get locked in by week 18 and their seeding. So, yeah, I'd be all for it. I don't think you should be handed anything in the NFL. And to me, to win a bad division and get rewarded with a home playoff game, I just don't like that.
Yeah.
The NFL should be a meritocracy on everything.
Yeah, well, I think division winners should be in the playoffs. I think.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but beyond that,
but travel.
Yeah, correct. Right. I think they got it right. I think I think that's the right proposal. Is, hey, look, all 4 division winners are automatically in, as they should be. You won your division, but I think after that, then it should be based on record.
Like Minnesota last year was the 5 seed in the NFC, again at 14-3.
Right.
They were 4 games better than the 3 seed Tampa Bay and the 4 seed Rams.
And that
just is dumb.
Well, so you're like me then. I agree with the proposal, and I hope the proposal does get some traction. I think it should. And when I thought about that, I said, they really are right. I mean,
without a doubt,
they really are right. So why not do it? If it's right, if it's right, do it. So you said you don't think it'll pass. Maybe it won't, but it should. It should pass. So would not surprise me if that happens. So by the way, other things going on in the world of sports. I know it's a happy day for you because sometimes we all have favorite coaches and favorite players.
Yes. The Pioneer is back in the game at the high level.
Will Wade is on his way to NC State. You know what?
Yeah.
The strong-ass offer is going to Raleigh. What's
That's
happening.
Right.
The
Pioneer.
Yeah, and by the way, all the stuff he did.
Yeah, perfectly
it's
legal
now. Legal now.
Yeah.
He just cheated. He just wasn't smart enough to not start cheating until they let you cheat.
He was the last bastion of the age of, cheating by paying players. And he lost his job at LSU. He was doing great there, too. I mean, and LSU, to be honest, hasn't recovered. I mean, they hired their coach the same time. I don't even know his name. They hired their coach the same year Florida hired Golden. And, I mean, it's remarkable, the difference in record between what Florida has been under Todd Golden and what LSU has been under Will Wade's successor. And so, yeah, I mean, LSU, I think, has got a good basketball program, and they're sort of stuck right now. So, yeah, I mean, I was bearing the guy a few years ago because that was the rules, and it was what we'd always grown up with, is you're not allowed to pay these players. But obviously, as time has played out, Will Wade looks a lot better now, and
he's obviously a pretty good coach.
And he's a good coach, and he can get talent. So I would think for NC State, you have to be really excited about that hire.
Yeah. So
what do you think of Indiana's hire, hiring West Virginia's coach?
Yeah, I didn't. First of all, honestly, when I saw DeVries, when I saw all the hubbub about him, I read. I'm not going to lie, I didn't know much about him. He certainly came from that Greg McDermott tree at Creighton, and I read all about. I didn't know. So, but so many people have raved. That's a blue blood job now.
Oh, yeah.
And so many people raved about the hire that it must be a good one.
They paid West Virginia a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because he had only been there a year.
Right. And so I feel bad for West Virginia.
Right. Tough week for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, it is. But if you're Indiana, and he can say, listen, one of the reasons I'm gone is if my record was this in Indiana, I'd have been in. Even though Indiana wasn't in. So, but that's a blue blood job.
Yes.
The right guy at Indiana is going to win a lot. It's really amazing. I guess it started with Tom Crean, and then they ran out Kelvin Sampson, who's a really good coach. But the fact that Indiana, it's been this long since Indiana has won, is really bizarre.
Truly
this would be like Oklahoma in football not winning for the span of years.
Right.
It is the bluest of blue blood jobs, and so So again, I didn't to your question, I didn't know a lot about him, and I did so. I
was surprised that they didn't go after you heard Chris Beard early on, which I think would have been an outstanding hire, and you absolutely leave Ole Miss for Indiana. So, but again, I totally understand wanting that Creighton model. They've been outstanding when you look at their NCAA tournament history. Obviously, they got kind of a tough break having to face 8th-seeded Louisville in Lexington, Kentucky. But don't be surprised if Creighton wins that. Creighton is a basketball program, has been incredibly strong now for many years.
So we'll certainly talk a little bit about the basketball world when we get into our bracket breakdown. Quick thought before we do that. We'll take a break and say hello to Lee Smith. Aaron Rodgers not going to the Vikings.
Yeah.
That one surprised me. I when I'm watching the goofy Aaron Rodgers stuff, because everything about him is goofy, but there's still something left. None of it made sense to me until people started talking about the Vikings. Then it started to make sense. Then Brett Favre urged him to do it. Brett Favre had done it. He knows the division. He's only got a year or two left, if that. Why not go where there's these great receivers and they won 14 games a year ago? None of it made sense to me, Hays, until Minnesota got in them. He can go to Pittsburgh. It just seems weird to me. Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin together, that seems like, for me, an odd fit. So, but maybe that's where he winds up now. But when the Minnesota thing started to crystallize, I said, okay, now I get it. That this is now logical, and now he's not going there. I still can't figure out the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. That one surprised me, though.
Yeah, and I would think it's obviously the Vikings believe they have something in J.J. McCarthy, and they haven't seen him on the field to be proven wrong. And, I can see where they're coming from. Jaden Daniels steps in, NFL superstar right away. Bo Nix steps in, very high-quality starter right away, and leads his team into the playoffs with a 10-win season. Caleb Williams had some issues going around him. But you look at the success that this rookie class had. So if you believe J.J. McCarthy, and I'm sure in Minnesota's mind, they believe he's right in that mix with Bo Nix and, going in that class, well, that class looks like it's going to be a really strong one. So, go ahead and let him develop instead of, waiting basically through 3 seasons, assuming Rodgers would be there 2 years. And delaying all that development, you believe in them, so go ahead and put them out there.
Yeah.
So I think Pittsburgh would be well served to sign Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's a good fit for Aaron Rodgers. If they're keeping Pickens too, to have DK Metcalf and George Pickens and a draft coming where Pittsburgh can try and find a real slippery, agile, quick burst guy. And you got Freiermuth. I mean, there's a lot of weapons there, and Pittsburgh's going to play physical.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to win games 38-35 there. And so I think it's an attractive place for Aaron Rodgers. Now, he's going to have to drop the diva.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't be a diva with the Steelers.
Right.
But I would like to think Aaron Rodgers is cognizant of that and will drop the ego at the door when he walks in. But yeah, other than the Steelers, nothing else to me really fits for him.
And I do think the Vikings decided to move on, but they've had a lot of time to move on before yesterday. So there was negotiating going on. I just think Aaron Rodgers said, I want X, and the Vikings finally said, we're not sure about it anyway, and we're damn sure not sure about it at that rate. So we'll talk. We got a lot of things to get to. But let's take a break. When we come back, let's look back at a fantastic 2025 Players Championship. Lee Smith joins us after this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Feel the downforce of 100 horses. Everybody in the crowd on their feet. Sunday at Miami. Wow! NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins. Just seasonal produce, hand-picked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com. Connecting real people to real family farms. doorbellfarms.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Did you know your pup could take 30,000 to 60,000 steps a day at Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard? That's a whole lot of tail-wagging fun with their best furry friends. At Dogtopia, they turn playtime into exercise, learning, and socialization in their off-leash, open-play environment. Dogs build confidence, reduce anxiety, and stay happy and healthy, all while having the time of their lives. Visit Dogtopia of Jacksonville Beach Boulevard today.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Hey, folks, Nick in here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts, sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. High Flying Jacko here. And the next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call on the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hi, welcome back to the program. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. Our buddy Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, joins us now after what I think had to be a really successful player. You have to be very congratulations on what I thought you guys crushed it. I mean that very sincerely. I thought it was great.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's as you can imagine, between volunteers and media, business leaders, just the support, and then our staff that works 365 days a year to put on 1 week, to have it work out. A couple weather hiccups, before and during the event, but for one of those weather hiccups to take it to Monday, St. Patrick's Day, to have the crowd turn out on a Monday. Rory made mention, I don't know if you saw in his press conference, that he said, does nobody work here in Northeast Florida? When he saw the amount of people that came back in on Monday, really created great theater and great drama for that playoff that, ended up to be over somewhat quickly.
The fan experience was incredible, as it always is. I mean, we obviously see so many people out there, and to a person, everybody was raving about what a great time they had. And then, what also was so refreshing to see was the data come in and see the ratings were up Sunday over last year, and to see Monday's ratings were incredibly impressive for an event that's going on in the morning on a work day. It was, 1.5 million?
Yeah, it was. Hayes, to have a Sunday that achieved what it did from a rating standpoint, that had weather interruption and those types of things was great to see. And then 1.5 million viewers, which I think is, as I read, was over the last 20 years only surpassed on Golf Channel and its properties by a Friday of a Ryder Cup in 2021. I think says a lot about the star power of the Players Championship, and says a lot about the star power of Rory McIlroy to command attention and him to win a championship at this level. I mean, it just created a lot of drama on site, and I can only imagine what it looked like on TV.
Yeah, I would imagine part of that is just how good the tournament looks. You told a great story about some of your buddies. You mentioned, guys, can't be any greener. It looked. The weather was so I didn't go out Sunday, so every day I went out, the weather was perfect. But I thought it had the vibe, man. Lee, I thought it had the vibe. I've been to every one of them, so I was there in '82. I thought it had as good a vibe. Packed on Friday, packed on Saturday. Traffic wasn't a nightmare. I thought, I'll bet when you were telling us during the break, you're going to get some surveys and people. I'll bet you get an awful lot of positive stuff. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right, Frank. It's like Hubert Davis winning that game by 30 last night, right? He's going to come into the locker room and realize they turned the ball over 7 times in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. We've got some things to work on, certainly, and I say that with humility, and that we're always going to continue to try to get better. But to hear, going back to Rory, to hear him in his post tournament press conference talk about the stature of the event, and talk about during the rain delay, he and others had a consensus that this was the best player experience of any tournament in the world. Those are things that put a smile on a staff's face, because you're working on that experience day after day for 365 days, and to have somebody of that stature who's played everywhere, you name the level of tournament, and for him to say that the fan experience seems to get better every year, the player experience is the best in the world. And what the PGA Tour has done here is second to none. I think, is something that we're really, really proud of.
What did you make of Rory's play? Because he wasn't overly accurate off the tee, but he scrambled so beautifully that we saw him on Friday birdie from Pine Straw on 18.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, but how do you assess how he performed and what that could mean as we get now to the Masters and beyond?
Absolutely. I think he said it numerous times, not only in the public media, but when we took him to each one of the partners afterwards, I think he made mention numerous times that he won a different way this week. When he has his A game and driving it off the tee and hitting short irons into par fives and those types of things, he can win one way. But, he mentioned that I hit it a little more crooked. I think one day, maybe that day you were talking about where he escaped from the Pine Straw, he only hit 4 fairways or something that day. That he won a different way. He won playing in the wind, which has never really been his strong suit. He won scrambling, and I think on Sunday, before missing one of the short ones late, he had made 11 putts, 11 for 11 inside 10 feet or something like that. So, yeah, I think he won a different way. I will say that in the playoff, the advantage he had of having the honor and hitting it 340 right down the middle, you're JJ Spawn, and it's one of those that it's like, I think it may have been a totally different, at least feel, if JJ had the honor and he hit a tee shot down the middle, and then Rory hit a 340. But to watch that first and know that you're chasing from the very beginning, that's got to be an intimidating feeling.
Well, and to that end, we talked about this yesterday on the program, or even Monday after the playoff. I can remember when Kisner and whoever else it was wound up in the playoff with Ricky. Once they knew they were in a playoff with Ricky, they were in trouble. I can remember the look on Paul Goydos' face when he realized he was going to be in a playoff with Sergio. Because when you realize you're in a playoff with a guy of that caliber, and I think we saw it there. When J.J. Spawn missed the putt on 18, and I got to tell you, I was watching on TV then, in regulation, and he hit it, I thought he made it. And then I told Hays, at first glance, I thought he left it one or two rolls short. If you watched it closely, it was turning right just a hair. Did you think that? I think he might have been on the lip. At first, I thought he just was a couple. What did you think?
Could have been. It certainly was not going to go in dead center if it did. I think as slow as maybe it was going, it could have caught the lip and fell in.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
But you're right. I mean, it was less than a rotation short, and certainly from his view, I think he thought that he made it.
Yeah, but you could tell when he did. I told Hayes this. You could tell when he didn't. Number one, he almost won the Players' Championship, for God's sake. But beyond that, now he's got a playoff with Rory McIlroy. That's not a playoff with some newbie.
Yeah,
I could sense it watching on TV. First, he said, "Gosh, I almost won the Players if that thing goes in." But also, oh boy, now I got to play off with this guy.
I think he also mentioned, if I remember right, that he didn't realize it was a 3-hole aggregate playoff.
Oh,
correct.
Okay.
I think he mentioned that. I think he probably felt like it was a sudden death playoff, which probably gives him a little bit better chance against anybody.
Yeah.
But with the unique 3-hole aggregate playoff, playing those 3 famous holes, and then having to face Rory the following day, and probably not sleep very well, thinking about St. Patrick's Day and Rory McIlroy. What else do I have against me here?
When he got to 17, obviously everybody that follows it knows Rory hit 9-iron in the middle, and JJ, who doesn't hit it as far as Rory, pulled out 8-iron and flushed it. Did he just pick the wrong club? Was he just jacked up? It was just one of those? How do you assess that, sir?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of adrenaline, and that probably allowed that ball to fly a little bit further. And then, think about the difference between hitting into a 20-mile-an-hour wind versus a 15. It just could have been a timing thing that, he got unlucky in hitting it to just a different type of wind. I thought an interesting thing was, Rory mentioned, so the playoff starts on 16, and the practice ground that they warm up on rolls the same direction as 16. So you're able to hit tee shots with your yardage device there, with your TrackMan or your GC Quad, your launch monitor, to see how far your tee shots are flying, go in the same direction as 16. Rory made mention that because of very few fans there when they were warming up, he actually turned around on the range and hit balls the opposite way towards 3 green, which then is going the same direction as the shot on 17. So he played that 9-iron into the wind and used his yardage device there, his launch monitor, to know that, okay, that shot goes, I think he said 147 at that trajectory in that direction, so that then he could play in the wind when I think it was playing, I think it was playing 130 maybe is what he was trying to fly it, but into that wind he wanted to hit it 141 or something like that. There was a lot of math, but something that he would not have been able to do if that playoff would have happened on Sunday, as opposed to Monday where there was, not as many fans, say, around the practice facility.
Right.
Rory, obviously winning the tournament so early in the morning, he kind of said it's unique. I'm not used to winning a golf tournament so early, but what was it like having so much of the day for him to go around and visit with people? And obviously you guys put out an incredible video on Instagram that kind of showed him interacting with a lot of people in that environment.
Yeah, Hays, that goes, I think, back to the player experience that we work on throughout the year. Down to the minute, we time out how long when the last putt goes in to where we can get the champion on his way out of here. And we take pride in the champion spending time with all of our partners and doing the appropriate amount of media, but we also take pride in he's got a family. And we want to get him to his family and get him to where his next place is, whether it's a tournament the next week or get him down to TGL last night where he was all over the screen, last night watching the product in Palm Beach. So we were able to get him around, get him our 3 partners. He's a Optum Wellness Ambassador, so he's one of their athletes. So to be able to take him to Morgan Stanley and Comcast Business and then have him end up at Optum, we calculate that down to the minute, and then all the media hits, and then we got him to Erica and Poppy, his daughter, in kind of a special room with a special toast to them. And as you say, the special toast came at 11 a.m. as opposed to 8 p.m. Like it usually might be.
I got one of my buddies we go to the tournament with on Saturday, scolded me. He said, quit. The good fisherman never tells anybody about their good hole. Okay? I'd be a lousy fisherman because I'm going to do it again. But we spent some time, our group in 17, and we walked around and we wanted to see the tree, hit him under the tree on 6. But I'm telling you, Lee, I know you've heard me say this a bunch. When you walk down 12, go around the green to the other side to where there's a berm where you can sit. Hays has been out there with me, but you can sit on the berm and look across the water at the 12 green. And you got the Taco Lu stuff right there, and you got 13 over there, and you got it's spectacular. And now I'm ruining it now because everyone else is going to do it now. But, but you know what I'm talking about?
No.
That area on that berm, it's shady. It's spectacular.
Yeah, the opposite side of the water on 12 and the opposite side of the water on 13 with 14T right next to there are really hidden gem spots that allow you to sit on the side of the grass. I think you told me in advance you were taking Uber, so you have a couple cocktails. Have a couple cocktails, and just have a good time watching golf and watch 2 really exciting holes around 12 and 13. That a great par 3. I think Keegan Bradley had a hole in one at 13 during the tournament, and the drivable par 4 12th. I mean, 2 really really good holes early in the back 9.
And the drama on 12. You've watched 12 somehow.
Oh, it's great.
The drama.
Jackson and I went behind 13T up on that berm as well. Behind
the tee, near the Marriott.
Fantastic.
Really cool spot.
Yeah. But the drama, some guys going for it. I saw more balls in the water right in front of me that rolled off the green.
Yep.
And it was I'm telling you, it was fantastic.
And that was a new this year, Frank. In the past, we had primary rough at the bottom of that hill left of 12 green.
Oh.
And, balls that would just barely trickle off would go down the fairway area and typically would get held up in the primary rough that was about 4 inches. This year, we actually mowed that in intermediate rough.
Right.
So now a ball that actually rolls down that hill was going all the way into the water.
I saw a bunch of those.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know how it is, the fans, and they see it roll, and there's all it was a fantastic.
And 6 really played harder, even though no one hit the tree.
Yeah, way harder.
But I thought that was really interesting. That was a big storyline going in, and the hole played harder despite no one hitting the tree. Were you guys pleased with that result?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the tree. I think what was great about it was the intentional placement of the tree and subsequently the tee box locations in relation to the tree. We never wanted the tree to be the story. And so it's great to, not have people hit the tree or whatever. But at the same time, with the hole playing, I think it was a quarter to a half a shot harder, depending on the day, is that the tree came into play. It just came into play mentally with people hitting a different club off the tree or manipulating their swing a little bit, which causes the face to be slightly shut. And now the left bunker's getting a lot more action, or vice versa in the right trees. I think it did what it was supposed to.
I watched a lot of 6. I watched a lot of it because we're at that Palm Valley Village during the week, so it's right around the corner from where we're doing our shows. Yep. And then I just love it. And I'll tell you, you talked about the mental. You're right. Nobody hit the tree, but just watching them they've been practicing all week. It's not like it's new to them, but watching them stare at it, looking at their bags. Pro guys don't usually look at their bag. They know when they're walking to what they're hitting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys looked at their bags.
Yep.
And when you see a pro guy looking at his bag, that means he didn't know what he was hitting when he got. And I'm talking about Saturday when he'd already played a tournament round for 2 days. I thought it was fantastic. Final thing, we'll let you. We're way late here, but I just love talking golf with you. Is your feedback, the deck, all the chalet areas, the areas I'm talking about, all positive? Anything you would add? I would think I know you try and add something every year, but I think you pretty much got it all right. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think, yes, I think everything that we, worked hard to do between, announcing a Saturday sellout a couple of days earlier than previous to selling out the private suites on 17, those types of things. I think everything that we put into place this year worked close to the way that we wanted it to. That being said, we've already had 4 or 5 different meetings on 26.
Okay.
We've laid out our 4 or 5 big objectives and areas that we want to improve fan experience, areas that we want to add space, those types of things. So I certainly think, as you said, every year it just kind of tweaks and nips and tucks here and there. Yeah. Certainly almost the foundation is right where we want it, but being able to add experiences and add spaces, I think, is what you'll see going forward.
I thought you guys crushed it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Quick thought. You're also our golf analyst. Change hats for a second. What do you expect going forward? Rory dominates. Does Scotty bounce back? What do you think?
I think it'll be interesting. I saw Scotty's menu is virtually identical to the menu the last time he won Augusta. I think you see obviously a very difficult course this week at Copperhead, and you see a decent amount of players like Spieth and Thigala and Justin Thomas playing, kind of sharpening their knife for the next 3 or 4 months. Rory and Scotty have committed, I think, to Houston, which is a golf course that kind of preps them well for Augusta. So I think what you're going to see is the stars are going to continue to show up. And these next 2-3 months are going to be really exciting.
Lee, congratulations again. We'll see you next week talking golf.
Thank you.
Back in a moment. This is 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Wonder what Dan Hicken would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
When I signed you 4 years ago, I said, man, that man can sing.
Dan Hicken.
I said, he's going to be a big star.
Mornings on the Drill.
A big star, man.
On 1010XL.
This is my nightmare.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Mosquito season is upon us, but don't let them take over. The secret to a bite-free yard is starting today with Kingfish Pest Control. Their 3-step mosquito defense process stops them before they can spread. Eliminate breeding areas, build a protective barrier around your yard, and monthly treatments to keep them away all season long. The earlier you start, the fewer mosquitoes you'll have to fight. Don't let those pests ruin your outdoor fun. Call Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
You know, Mr. Chubby's Wings is giving away free beer again this year for the Madness Tournament.
Do they really give you a free pint of Miller Lite for each game you pick right?
Yes, all you got to do is fill out your bracket now at 1010XL.com. The overall winner gets tickets to Welcome to Rockville on Saturday. But for free beer, just download your bracket, print it out, and bring it into any Mr. Chubby's Wings location during the games. Every game you pick right, you get a free beer.
Go to 1010XL.com now. It's the free beer Chubby Madness Bracket Challenge. See Mr. Chubby's Wings Facebook for full contest details.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Your hole-in-one for men's health is Ackerman Urology. With offices in Mandarin, Middleburg, World Golf Village, and the beaches, Ackerman will get you on par for any prostate conditions and sexual vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Homeowners, listen up. It's time to start fresh in 2025. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto is here to help take control of your finances in 2025 by lowering your house payments and consolidating that nagging debt. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Right now, Loan Pronto has some of the most competitive offers for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans, starting in the low 5s APR. If your current rate is over 6%, don't settle for paying too much. Even if you're in process with another lender, call Loan Pronto now. Lock in at a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. You can even skip your next 2 house payments. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Get your personalized Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Amelia Tucker, senior varsity track and field and soccer player at Wilson High. Amelia is involved with student government and is a member of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, Amelia.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Out with the old, in with the organized. Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. Freshen up your home this spring with a custom organization solution. For a limited time, take advantage of our spring special and enjoy exclusive savings on closets, garages, home offices, and more. That's 40% off with an additional 15% off with 12-month special financing through April. Spring on this deal before it's gone. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation with Closets by Design.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you.
every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I always get to catch up with my buddy Lee Smith. What a good dude, and boy does he know the world of golf. He is fantastic. Do you know what's happening in about 13 minutes? Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. You don't look ready to me.
I don't have a great track record in this one. So this one is one that we consider we've invested a lot analytically this off season in trying to find intangibly rich hoops experts that can help us navigate these difficult waters, because this has been a little bit of a soft target for us over the years in this contest. So, we're trying to change the ecosystem and hoping that we'll have success.
Looking for more connective tissue. But let me tell you what I see when I see Hays right now as we get ready to do the bracket reveal. I feel like JJ. I feel like I'm the bullpen catcher, right? And he's been in the bullpen. I'm the bullpen catcher, and everybody else is on the field, and he runs out there, and I got to go to the skip. I go, Skip, I don't know. I don't think he's got it. I just
you pick up the phone yourself.
Yeah, I call the
dude,
manager from the phone. I just
call him back.
Yeah, I just don't know. And he's bouncing him in here, and he's just, I
don't feel good about it.
Yeah,
don't feel good about it at all.
So, and of course now he'll dominate now that he says that. But so fun. Thanks again to Lee. Lee's a really good guy, and I'll say it one more time. They did a fantastic job with the players, and he typically does. So
can't wait for the next one.
I mean,
it literally is like as soon as it ends, you look forward to the next edition of it because it is just such a spectacular week.
Yeah, he's a good man. So all right, we're gonna get to basketball in a bit. Couple quick football notes. Texans West continue. I mean, Jaguars West continue to be in Houston.
Yeah.
Cam Robinson he signed with them. He'll be their left tackle.
Have fun, CJ Stroud.
Christian Kirk is there, as you know. Ronald Darby, no doubt, will start at one of those cornerback spots, I would imagine. So,
make sure you don't start BTJ that week.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So,
in your fantasy lineups,
is Cam Robinson? What's Cam got left? Your opinion?
He's a C+ player.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll. They had nothing, so
Right.
Kidding.
Tunsil's gone.
Yeah,
they had to replace Tunsil.
They probably panicked when they traded Tunsil because there's a massive drop off between the two. But Cam Robinson is a functional left tackle. The problem that they're going to encounter, and maybe it won't matter because Cam spends his offseason out there in Houston. It was a problem last year. The coaching staff was like, well, we hope Cam Robinson is in good shape. We never see him. Because he's out there. So it was a point of contention. And then obviously Cam Robinson was, a complete me first guy when they wanted to substitute him and make him a reserve, wouldn't play. There's some bad guy is probably too strong, but maybe bad teammate in there, I would say. And it's a 1-year deal. So the good news for Houston is if he's a malcontent, then you've invested nothing in him moving forward. But I don't think he's a particularly good player. So, I think going from Tunsil to Cam Robinson is a pretty significant downgrade for Houston. Now, he's probably one of the best guys available, and it's a poor draft for left tackles. So it was probably the only thing they really could do. But I don't think they're going to be happy with what they get.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they did. That team's changed a bunch. You still have C.J. Stroud, and D'Amico's still the head coach, but they've changed coordinators. They've changed a lot of the key skill guys. They've changed their offensive line about. That's a different team.
It is, and keep in mind they won't have Tank Dell, unfortunately. Who suffered that grotesque knee injury late in the season, and just recently had the ACL repaired because there were so many other things that they had to get to before that.
Yeah.
So their receiving core is taking a hit, certainly with that. They're very vulnerable. I mean, let's just be honest. If the Houston Texans were in basically certainly any other division in the AFC, they would not be viewed as playoff contenders. They would be viewed as a team that's probably going to win 6 or 7 games. But they're in an awful division, and the Jaguars have allowed for that over these last 2 years. Houston should have never taken over this division for 2 years. Should have never happened. When the Jaguars made that close and won the division, it should have been that was Jacksonville's time for those 2 years, and they squandered it. And it's their fault, and now they've got a totally new group of leaders that hopefully can pull it back in. But the Houston Texans are not a tough rabbit to chase down. And the Jaguars should feel good about their chances to do it if these guys know what they're doing.
All right, we'll see what happens. Let's take a break. Are you ready? Reveal. Bracket
Let's
reveal.
do it.
Bracket reveal comes. Yeah, and again, let's be honest. There's great mystery as to who Hays and I might pick to win the whole thing. I mean, people can't imagine who that might be. So there certainly is that. We'll give you our picks. We'll go right through the bracket. We'll give you our Final Fours. We'll give you our national champions. All three of us have a bracket filled out. And then, of course, how we do the first weekend will determine loser Monday. This is 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harold and Harold studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Men in Black and Team.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
1010XL.
Oh, man, it feels great.
Home of the Jaguars.
This is Hays Carlyon for Physician Guided Weight Loss. I'm down over 25 pounds already thanks to Physician Guided Weight Loss. It's so easy. I feel great. It's all thanks to them. Their amazing technology, fast setup, friendly staff, and proven results sold me. They can help you too, and it's affordable with firm pricing. No rising costs as you go. If you're like me and looking to get a leaner body with the warm weather coming, call my friends at Physician Guided Weight Loss at 257-4344. That's 257-4344.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Get to know positions and players. The 1010XL Ultimate Draft Guide is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools, the #1 pool builder in Jacksonville. Follow rankings and roundtables as the draft takes shape. Go to 1010XL.com/2025 draft guide to get yours.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and there's so many cool products that are on the line at Cycles of Jacksonville. Showroom is Atlantic and Regency, and we're talking, Greg, you've got from any level of price point, the experienced rider to the inexperienced on-road, off-road.
We've got it. We've got ATVs, we've got motorcycles, we've got scooters, we even have the new Honda boats. We've got something for everyone.
Don't forget about the boat line from Honda. It's all right there, waiting for you. Atlantic and Regency or Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
Real estate isn't just a job, it's a commitment. With Paige Covington, you get a dedicated partner who's available day or night because buying or selling a home doesn't follow a schedule. Your needs come first. Whether it's finding the perfect home or selling for top dollar, Paige Covington goes the extra mile every time. Meet Paige Covington with England Volkers at String Sports Brewery on Pittman Road in Jacks Beach, Friday, March 21st from 4 to 6 for Madness with the Frangie Show. PaigeCovington.evrealestate.com.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
New year, new club. This is Joe C., and I'm proud to be a member of Southampton. And with the popularity of golf, getting a tee time is tough. But with membership comes member privileges. Enjoy clubhouse dining, expanded practice area, focusing on all parts of your game. And right now, you can join with an annual commitment and get a $1,000 discount, plus $500 of Pro Shop credit. All the details are online at golfsouthampton.com or call 287-PLAY and make a tee time today at the Golf Club of Southampton.
At Hurricane Grill and Wings, every day feels like the weekend. Fresh, never frozen chicken wings, tossed in over 30 bold flavors, paired with ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails, all in a laid-back, beachy atmosphere. And with every game on the big screens, it's the ultimate escape. And you're home for sports, too. Great food, cold drinks, and all the games. That's Hurricane Grill and Wings. Escape the ordinary and find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjacks.com.
I'm Max Fink, here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jaguars' YouTube channel put out a behind-the-scenes video on the process of signing some of their free agents. General Manager James Gladstone and Executive Vice President Tony Baselli both described the traits of the team they are crafting, along with the characteristics they are looking for in each individual they bring into the building.
You know, we're looking to create a dynamic, resilient, and perennially dominant football team. And we're going to prioritize the type of individuals who will accelerate that immediately upon arrival.
We're going to be a tough organization, tough individuals, both physically and mentally. There's going to be a work ethic. There's going to be a discipline that's just infused in how we approach everything we do. But that has to be modeled.
It's 81 degrees at 4:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
All right, it's time. Frangie, Carlyon, LaSelva. And then you guys will both give me your brackets after the show today, and I'll total them up. Let's go right through. Do you have yours up? Have you pulled yours up?
Should I keep mine just for as we go through it?
Just for the sake of the radio. Okay.
All right,
then you'll give it to me afterwards.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, now we got music. All right, JJ LaSelva. You don't have to give me all 68 games or 67 games, but let's start in the South. Give me any surprises you might have in the South first round. Give me any upsets you got.
Let's see. I got UNC taking down Ole Miss.
Okay.
After last night, I switched that one up.
Okay.
I have, not too many upsets in any of this. I got Auburn in the South.
All right. So how about you? Who else do you have? Who else do you have? You have UNC? I have UNC beating Ole Miss.
I have UNC beating Ole Miss.
By the way, that is such a vogue pick. Everybody in the world has done that.
Oh, absolutely. Usually a team does come out of Dayton and at least make a little bit of noise.
Right.
So, and I've seen Ole Miss.
Okay.
I like Chris Beard as a coach, but I don't think that they have a ton of talent. So I went with UNC as well.
Okay.
I took the 12-5 in that. So I like the Tritons of UC San Diego to take down Michigan.
Wow,
So
Dusty May goes down.
Yeah, yep. So I like that.
Okay.
My big surprise is we get later into the South. Just don't do that yet.
Don't do that yet.
Okay, don't do that.
The only one I had was UNC over Ole Miss too. To the West, I'll go first here. As I go through the West, I had virtually first round, no surprises. I have chalk all the way in the first round in the West.
You guys realize this is called March Madness, right?
What do you have?
Yeah, I've got the 12 Colorado State taking down.
You just picked all the 12-5s, okay, right?
Well, I mean, not all of them, but I picked those two.
Okay, all right. Anything else there?
And I've got Arkansas beating Kansas 10 over the 7.
Okay. All right. That's good.
And that's it.
How about you, JJ? Anything else there in the West for you?
Upset wise, no.
Okay.
I mean, I don't watch this sport. I don't know what to tell you.
I agree with you. I think you should.
I'm not going to pick a team that I've never heard of.
You and Frank are going to be tied.
Oh, well.
Okay. All right. In the
Colorado
East,
State over Memphis, of course.
In the East, I got a bunch of them. In the East, I got Liberty over Oregon. That's the 12-5 game. I got VCU over BYU. That's the 11-6 game. And I've got Vandy over St. Mary's. That's the 10-7. So I have 3 in that. What do you have in that?
I have those exact same 3.
Quit copying me. I saw you looking.
I've got Liberty, I've got VCU, and I've got Vandy as well. I have Baylor winning the 8-9 game, a 9 over an 8, but that's hardly an upset.
All right.
I've got. I think the East opens up pretty well for Duke.
All right. How about you? Anything grab you there in the East?
I have American taking down St. No, I have VCU winning.
Okay.
I do have Baylor winning, and I do have Vandy.
Okay.
Which I think they're like a 4.5 point underdog. So that was close enough for me. I took them.
All right, and then in the bottom, I think I've got nothing in the first round. Nope, nothing in the first round. How about you?
In the Midwest, you're talking?
In the Midwest?
Yeah, in the Midwest. Yeah.
Midwest, I think I'm all chalk in the Midwest.
All right. So how about you?
I got High Point because my boy Leon is so high on High Point.
All right.
I have the Zags beating Georgia. I know that's an 8 over a 9, but it's one of those toss-up ones.
I got the Zags too. All right, we're gonna fast forward here now. I want everybody's move forward. I'm not gonna do the Sweet 16s. Give me your Elite 8. Hays Carlyon, you go first. Give me your Elite 8, your 8 teams to make the Elite 8.
Well, I'm going to start with a humdinger here.
Yeah.
I think Texas A&M takes down Auburn. So I've got A&M versus Michigan State, Tom Izzo in the Elite 8 in the South. I've got Florida. Just go through all or just stay with the South?
Whatever. You give me all of them.
Okay, I've got.
Give me anything that jumps off.
I've got Florida facing Texas Tech in the Elite 8 in the West. I've got Duke, Bama in the East, and I've got Houston, Tennessee in the Midwest. So chalk, basically. I don't think St. John's gets to the Elite 8, but basically chalk in the West, Midwest, and East. I think the South gets a little crazy with the Aggies taking down Auburn.
The only thing I've got in the South is Iowa State beating Michigan State, the 3 instead of the 2. Elsewhere, I got chalk all in the Elite 8. How about you, JJ?
I have Iowa State beating Michigan State as well. I just feel like Izzo never really goes that far anymore.
Yeah.
I have Auburn versus Iowa State, and in the West, I have UF, of course. Against Texas Tech, I have them beating St. John's. I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, okay.
Because we all love Patino here. And then in the Midwest, I have the Vols against Clemson. I have Clemson taking down Houston. I like what Dabo's got going on this year. And Bama Duke.
Okay.
In the East.
I've got it as well. And finally, JJ, go first. Give me your final 4.
All right, so I have Duke taking down Bama.
Okay.
I have Tennessee getting in the Final Four after beating Clemson. I guess they'd be a favorite in that game. Florida taking care of Texas Tech, and Auburn over Iowa State.
So you have 3. Well, no, don't give me your finals yet. You have 3 SEC
Exactly.
teams. What about you?
I've got Michigan State coming out of the South. I've got Florida coming out of the West. Duke wins the East, and Houston wins the Midwest.
You only have 1 SEC team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Loser. I was damn close to going 4 for 4. I got Auburn in the South, Florida in the West, Bama beating Duke in the East, and man, I was tempted to go Tennessee in the Midwest, but I think Houston's really good. So I've got Auburn, Florida, Bama, Houston. Hays, go first. Who's in the championship game?
I've got Florida beating Michigan State, and I've got Duke beating Houston.
right,
so
well-
I've got Florida versus Duke.
JJ, who's in the championship game for you?
Florida beating Michigan State. That'd be a little revenge from 25 years
right.
back.
Yeah,
I have Florida as well. I have them beating Texas Tech. And I have, we're on the 4. So I have Florida beating Auburn.
Yeah.
That would be for the second time this season. And I actually have Duke beating Tennessee.
Oh, so you have Florida, Duke. All right. I've got Florida beating Auburn. I've got Houston beating Bama. So I got Florida, Houston in the championship game. I will shock you. I've got the Gators winning it all. JJ, who's in the championship game? Who wins it all?
I got Florida versus Duke, which how juicy would that be?
Oh, my
goodness. And I do have Duke. I wanted to be a little bit different, so I took Duke.
And you?
I've got Florida Duke in the final, and I've got the Gators 91, Blue Devils 86.
How about
Title for Todd Golden in year 3.
So Hays and I both have Florida winning it. JJ's got Duke winning it. I was an eyelash from all 4 SEC teams. I wanted to do it just to do it, but I got 3 of them. I don't think Tennessee can beat Houston. I think Florida, obviously Florida can beat Auburn. I think Florida is going to beat, I think it's going to beat Florida St. John's. Is that what that's the game?
I actually went with Texas Tech over
Yeah.
St. John's in the Sweet 16.
And I think Iowa State is good. People forgot about Iowa State. They're still pretty good. I got Iowa State beating Michigan State. I think Auburn beating them. So Auburn, Florida, Bama, and Houston in the Final 4 for me, and Florida winning the whole thing. Those are our brackets. That is the bracket reveal. Now I will take both of these guys' brackets, and then I will tell you who did the best in the first round.
And I'll pick up lunch.
And somebody is headed to Bono's coming up on.
How far do you guys have Kentucky going?
I've got Kentucky beating Illinois, beating Troy, obviously, beating Illinois, getting to the Sweet 16 and losing to Tennessee.
Okay, same.
Hays has Kentucky
losing to Illinois.
So you got them not even getting to the 16.
Correct.
Okay, so there you go.
What about you, JJ?
Yeah, I have them losing to Tennessee.
Okay, so there you go. So our Elite Eights are all very similar. That's where all we had some going on early. But there we go. So those are our picks.
Nobody took Bryant.
No.
Nobody took
It was
Omaha.
tempting.
Yeah.
So
there's going to be some, like Hayes just was laughing at us. This is going to be not anywhere close.
Yeah,
There's going to be some 13s winning. It's always so insane.
I don't have a 13. I got an 11. I got a 12. I got a 10. I don't have 2 12s, and I don't have a 3. I don't have anybody lower than an 11 winning. So which means that's not 13. I got a 12 and an 11.
Which 12 you picked Liberty.
Yeah. Which I don't have, and you did too, right?
I did.
Yeah, and so
Mia had this crazy stat that an 11 has been to the Sweet 16 in it's almost 10 straight tournaments or something insane like that.
Well, I do believe there's more parity than ever because there's so many players now, and there's so many. Everybody's on TV now, and everybody can land. And now more than ever because they change teams every year with NIL and the portal and whatnot. So it really, I still don't know that there's great parity in the top 6 or 7 teams.
I don't think there is,
but I think there is after that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there is after that. And I'm telling you. Man, I was an eyelash from picking Tennessee, Bama, Auburn, and Florida in that Final 4. I mean, I was an eyelash.
All of ESPN's analysts on Sunday picked all the number 1 seeds to go.
Did they? Yeah.
I honestly, I can't remember a year where putting all 4 number 1 seeds through
is not laughed
has
at.
been so common. And yes, not laughed at.
I picked 3 of the 4.
I did too. I mean, the metrics are the metrics, and these guys aren't only good number 1 seeds for any year. They're historically strong 1 seeds. The only reason I picked Texas A&M to beat Auburn is because they just played and Texas A&M won the game. And Texas A&M is a physical nightmare. in terms of what they present. And they do have a sensational guard. So, I mean, honestly, if a team from a different conference was playing Auburn in the Sweet 16, and who knows, Yale may beat A&M and it won't matter. But if Auburn really did not get, for being the number 1 overall seed, to maybe having to play Louisville and Lexington or Creighton, who is used to being in this tournament and doing well, that is a very tough second round game compared to what the other 1 seeds are. Well, Gonzaga against Houston isn't. That's not a clear path either. But then in the potential Sweet 16 matchup, your 4 seed is a conference team that just beat you.
Right.
That is not an easy path. And then you might get Tom Izzo or Iowa State in the Elite Eight. So I think Auburn's got kind of a tough road.
Well, and of all those things you said, go back to the first thing you said, Louisville playing in the state of Kentucky.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, you've got Louisville. You've got to play Louisville, who is going to pack Rupp Arena.
Absolutely.
And so, because they're right there. And so, I mean, that's a hard draw, man, for the number one overall seed.
That's got to be a mistake, right?
Yeah.
I just think the committee, my guess is they were like, how did we end up with Louisville on the 8 line? And because they really should have been more on like the 5 line, 6 line.
Yeah.
That's a big drop off. And so I think as a way to kind of curtail that disadvantage, they then kind of overcompensated.
Gave them a home game.
And said, we'll keep you in your home state.
Yeah, no question about that. By the way, isn't it funny how everybody is picking UNC over Ole Miss? Everybody.
I honestly, I don't know how you can't. Look, they didn't deserve to be in, but once you get beyond that, we see it in sports all the time. Look at Florida's baseball team last year. We talked about it. If Florida gets in, watch out. Yeah. Because all the pressure, UNC has carried for 2.5 months the pressure of, are we going to make the tournament?
Right.
And I think it affected their play. And then as soon as they realized they were in and everybody's 0-0, which is always the message that the coach is going to share in that situation. Hey, we're 0-0, just like Duke. Duke has got the same record right now that we have. And that can be very inspiring. And they went out and played very loose and easy against a good program in San Diego State,
right,
and absolutely destroyed them. It was never close. It was like
1.5 favorite.
It was like 30-13.
And they will continue, by the way, to really use this. People mocked us for being in. Everybody said we didn't deserve it. I mean, I said this yesterday on the program. Hubert Davis has the easiest motivational talk of all time. You have a whole country saying you don't deserve it. You're not deserving. And the only way to prove them wrong is to keep right on winning. I said this yesterday. If we didn't know the quad one, we now know stats metrics we didn't know before. If you didn't know the whole quad one stuff and you just saw 21-13 and 13-7 in the league, you wouldn't have any problem with them being in. But because you know the 1-12 against quad one teams, that's the stat that has everybody outraged that North Carolina's in. And so, look, I saw North Carolina against Duke at the end. I know Flag wasn't there. I saw North Carolina against Florida early. North Carolina isn't terrible. Now they had moments of a terrible season, but I don't think they're a terrible team. So it'll be fun to watch.
Ole Miss too is, I think Chris Beard's done a really good job with them, but they feel like a team that really doesn't have a lot for being a 6 seed. So that's the other, like they have an outstanding coach.
Right.
But in seeing Ole Miss, I wasn't really impressed with them. They have a pretty decent guard, and Padula, I think is his name.
Yeah, he made a lot of shots against Florida.
Yeah, but other than that, they're not overly difficult, in my opinion. Right. So I would be surprised if North Carolina doesn't beat Ole Miss.
We'll take a break. Headlines are next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Start sequence 1.
Unleash the excitement of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ignition.
1010XL.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it," and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Golfers, grab your clubs. It's time to hit the greens for a great cause. Join UF Health Jacksonville for their inaugural Golf Classic on Friday, April 25th at the beautiful Amelia River Club with a shotgun start at 9 a.m. Enjoy a premier golf experience while supporting UF Health Jacksonville. Bring your friends, build your foursome, and get ready for a day of fun, competition, and giving back. Don't wait. Sign up today at ufhealthjacks.org/golf. See you on the course.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
It's the Mr. Chubby's Bracket Challenge, going on now at 1010XL.com. Print your bracket and bring it to any Mr. Chubby's Wings during Live Madness game. Get a free Miller Lite for each game you pick right. Top prize, Saturday passes to Welcome to Rockville.
Looking for comfort with who you work with? Remember, Florida Home AC only hires the best. Background checks and drug screenings for all their technicians, so you can be confident when you choose Florida Home AC. Exceptional services, their guarantee at Florida Home AC.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back in the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
When you hear Florida Gators baseball on 1010XL, it's brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators, and Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We certainly appreciate our friends at Harold & Harold. Tremendous people. They'll take great care of you. Hopefully you won't need them. Hopefully you don't get injured, but unfortunately that happens in the world. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with some sad news. Derek Gaffney died Monday at the age of 69. The Reigns alum played 7 seasons in the NFL and is the father of Jabbar Gaffney.
Yeah, he was part of that big Gaffney family, Hayes. Don Gaffney, his older brother, is the most famous Gaffney. He was the first black quarterback in Florida history in that 72-73 era. Had it first start against Auburn and beat Auburn, and that was a big news back in that era. And then Derek Gaffney, his younger brother, came along and became one of his better receivers. He was the better NFL player. He played a number of years for the Jets, as you said. He was part of the family. Later on, Warren Gaffney came along. So Don Gaffney was a quarterback. Derek Gaffney came along as a wide receiver. Warren Gaffney came along as a safety cornerback and a very good player. And then the youngest brother, Johnny Gaffney, was a wide receiver there when I went to school in Florida. So the Gaffney family was very famous, great players at Reigns all those years. Don Gaffney was the most popular and the most well-known of those. But Derek Gaffney, known most as not only being Don's younger brother, but a good receiver, played numerous years for the Jets. And yes, the father, not only the father of Jabbar Gaffney, I don't know if you remember this or not, but Jabbar used to go by Derek Gaffney Jr.
Oh, wow.
And then I think Jabbar was his middle name, and then he changed and started going by his middle name, which is Jabbar. So, but yeah, Derek Gaffney, sad to see, gone at the age of 69.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to the Jaguars. The Jaguars have signed offensive tackle Fred Johnson to a 1-year deal. The 27-year-old former Gator started 6 games for the world champion Eagles last season, logging 481 offensive snaps. That's 4 offensive linemen now added in free agency, a starting right guard, a starting center, and 2 reserve offensive tackles. Bad news for in-house guys like Javon Foster.
Yeah, look, they signed 10 guys, 4 of them, 40% are offensive linemen. Johnson can help now. Johnson was he's a swing tackle, a very important swing tackle on the Super Bowl champions. I can tell you, there's people with the Eagles that are sorry to see him go. He right away, I think, becomes the swing tackle here. Remember, they signed 2 guys that not only are swing tackles, one from Dallas, one from Philadelphia. They're going to push those 2 guys. Don't think for a minute they're not pushing Walker Little and Anton Harrison, because I believe that they will. So that one got my attention. Partly he played at Florida. If you remember or not, he was the right tackle when DJ Humphrey was the left tackle. So DJ Humphrey was the big signee out of North Carolina, so he got more attention. But Fred Johnson was the right tackle and was probably the better of the 2 players, at least at the time. Both played in the NFL for a long time. That's a good find for Florida. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get it to the NFL. Cam Robinson to the Houston Texans on a 1-year deal. Do you like that move for Houston?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what he's got. Cam's a pro, for sure. He's tough. He's a fighter. He's a pro. I don't know how much he has left. He's got to get along in the locker room. He lives in Texas. His off-season home is in Texas, which is why I think this made some sense. I can tell you there's times he stayed in Texas, even when some other players were here with OTAs and whatnot, volunteer stuff. He wasn't here as much as the others, in large part. Remember when he and his wife had a kid, and he didn't want to leave, and I get that. But that was all while he was living in Texas, so he's closer to home. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It will. The Vikings are opting against signing Aaron Rodgers. They will stick with J.J. McCarthy. Good move from Minnesota?
Well, it obviously came down to the negotiating. I don't think it's just money. I think it's what expectations he had. If they just flat out didn't want him, that story would have broke 2 weeks ago. The fact that it didn't break until now tells you the 2 sides had a conversation, or numerous conversations. At the end of the day, they couldn't get together. I thought the best place for Rodgers to land was Minnesota. They're coming off a 14-win regular season. They've got outstanding receivers. They've got an outstanding football coach. They've got an outstanding defensive coordinator who built a really good defense. I would have thought that made the most sense for him. I'm surprised by it. I really am. Yeah, if the Vikings want to win, the Vikings are close to winning, but it's hard to win with a quarterback who's really a rookie, which is what J.J. McCarthy will be next year. I'm a little surprised, and I still believe whether it's Jameis Winston or whoever your next guy is, Joe Flacco, they're going to bring in a veteran, and the veteran will have a chance to be their starter.
Let's get it to the NFL draft. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah has the Jaguars taking Georgia's Jalen Walker with the 5th overall pick in his latest mock draft. DJ has the top 4 being Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, and Travis Hunter. But Jeremiah has the Jaguars selecting Walker and passing on Mason Graham. Walker is the reigning Butkus Award winner, but projects as a pass rusher, at least on obvious passing downs at the NFL level.
Yeah, you need another edge. I don't think but the edge is a non-starter. I wouldn't think you would do that at 5, and I wouldn't think they pass Mason Graham if he's there.
It was interesting, though, because DJ, as we know, and we don't know about this group of, Gladstone and Cohen, but he's pretty plugged in a lot of front offices. So it definitely, when he projects something like that, it made me kind of perk my eyebrow up on. I don't think it's a great fit either, really. I mean, I think they should take an edge player, but take him like in the 3rd round or something.
Well, remember this. Everybody's got to change their mocks. You're not going to make any money or get any streams or hits or whatever, views, if you put out the same mock all the time. And look, I don't think the Jaguars are considering just one player at 5. They've probably got a list of a handful. And if Jeremiah's connected to somebody in that office that told him, hey, I don't know if we're taking him, but I'll give you a guy that's on our list, all of a sudden he winds up on a mock.
Absolutely. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe helped himself today with a sub 4.5 40 time at Alabama's Pro Day, according to reports coming out of Tuscaloosa. Milroe is a big wild card in this draft.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe he's an accurate enough passer to be a good NFL player. We've seen it with guys. We've seen it with Anthony Richardson and others who are erratic from a standpoint of completion percentage. But by all accounts, all-world good guy, great leader, great athlete. He can play somewhere in the NFL. There's no doubt about that.
Netflix has announced a 2nd season of Quarterback will premiere this July, featuring Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Kirk Cousins.
I didn't watch Quarterback, but did you watch it?
I did not.
People loved it. People that watched it loved it. And listen, you can't get enough good behind-the-scenes stuff, so it'll be, whether you or I watch it or not, it'll be very well received.
Let's get it to college basketball. Walter Clayton Jr. makes it a clean sweep, earning first-team All-American honors today from the National Association of Basketball Coaches and the U.S. Basketball Writers Association. Clayton has now earned first-team honors from all 4 consensus selectors, joining the Associated Press and Sporting News.
He's one of the 5 best players in the country. There's no doubting that. He's one of the 3 or 4 best players to ever wear a Florida uniform. I don't doubt that. He's worthy of every bit of that. And I like that, by the way, because when you get all that before a tournament, you have a little bit of that swagger. The teams you play fear you. This is all good. This is all good. I can't wait to see him start lighting it up on Friday night.
The Gators digital department dropped another video last night, taking fans behind the scenes. This 10-minute clip documents the mid-season SEC stretch, closing with the win at number 1 Auburn. Todd Golden says in the documentary, an interesting quote to me, Frank. He said, "This team has done a great job towing the line between being confident without being arrogant." Episode 3, by the way, comes out tonight.
I have not seen it. I saw the first one. I have not seen this one. I don't know if I've seen both of them, but I've seen one. I'll tell you this. That's a good. He knows this team better than all of us do, but so it should be a good description. But that's a good description of his team, Hays. They have a brash confidence about them, but they're not a bunch of trash talker, cocky guys. They're boy. If you can straddle that line. If you can straddle that line to where you're boldly confident, brash, without being overconfident or cocky or taking things, that's the championship mindset, man. If he's right about that, that's one more reason to really like these guys.
Absolutely. Let's get to the NCAA tournament, which is underway. North Carolina routs San Diego State 95-68 last night. The Tar Heels will now play Ole Miss.
Yeah, and everybody and their brother's picking UNC to win, which means Ole Miss is going to win. But I mean, yeah, look, the Tar Heels, you talk about a chip on their shoulder. They've got a boulder on their shoulder for people telling them. I mean, everybody and their brother was lining up to talk about how awful it was that they're in the tournament. These kids are saying, look, we're just trying to play a basketball game here. You can rip us all you want. I mean, that's as big a boulder on the shoulder. Again, I said it before, Hubert Davis has the easiest motivation job of all time.
Without a doubt, in the first game of the tourney, Alabama State stunned St. Francis in a matchup of 16 seeds. Stunned them in the final second, Frank, to win 70-68. Alabama State now travels to Lexington to face Auburn.
Yeah, unfortunately, it'll be 2 and done. But what a finish to that game. It was a wild way to finish the ball game.
It really was. That ball just hung up there after four guys jumped up. It was sort of a Hail Mary pass. And to Alabama State's credit, they collected it, laid it in, got the win. The tournament continues tonight after a matchup of 16 seeds. Texas will play Xavier, and that'll be obviously an 11 versus an 11.
And that's a terrific game. I mean, that's two. They're not basketball blue bloods, but they're certainly well-known basketball programs. Xavier is a very well-known basketball program, and Texas is Texas, so that'll be worthwhile. That one will feel like the NCAA tournament. I'm not sure the play-in games tend to feel that way. That'll feel like the NCAA tournament.
Without a doubt, Indiana hires West Virginia's Darren DeVries as new men's basketball coach. He gets a 6-year deal after spending just one season in Morgantown, guiding the Mountaineers to a 19-13 record. West Virginia just missed the NCAA tournament, so a tough week for the Mountaineers.
I didn't know much about him, but boy, people rave about him. And he was with Greg McDermott at Creighton all those years, and that Greg McDermott coaching tree is pretty good all of a sudden. He stays there. Everybody else moves on, and I don't know much about it. I'll say this. It's amazing to me Indiana has had that many failed coaches, Tom Crean and Mike Woodson. They run off Kelvin Sampson. There have been so then Dockich was the coach there after Bob Knight. They've had so many failed coaches. How can a program that's that rich in history, that's that set up right in basketball country, not have done better in recent years? They really haven't.
It really is shocking. The Pioneer Will Wade is expected to leave McNeese after its NCAA tourney run for NC State. Wade had success at LSU before losing his job over things that would be perfectly acceptable now.
Yeah, I heard NC State made him a strong-ass offer, and he couldn't turn it down, and all of a sudden the ultimate cheater in the SEC is now, you're right, everything he did then is now legal.
Without a doubt. Let's get it to golf. Sunday's final round of the Players drew 3.6 million viewers, up from 3.5 last year. Have fun with that, Live Tour. Perhaps even more impressive, 1.5 million watched Monday morning's playoff, a big number for that time of day.
Yeah, I thought it was we told Lee this when he was in here with us today. I thought it was an overwhelming success, Hayes. I thought the way that tournament came off, the way it was run, the way it felt, the fan experience, the players, and Rory winning capped it all. I thought it was a marvelous week.
Let's get it to Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani homers as the Dodgers beat the Cubs 6-3 in Tokyo. LA won both meetings.
Yeah, I mean, so I figure, what do you figure, JJ? They win 150, 155 this year probably.
Probably 162.
162.
I'll say one thing, though. The Cubs, man, it's just every year with them. They're lucky they got that World Series. They're just a crap franchise, man. What do you guys do?
Yeah, I think their roster, they look like they've got a good team. Now we'll see.
They always look like they are going to win 70 games. They're going to be fine with that.
I think they're better this year, but again, we'll see.
Let's get it to college baseball. Florida run rules JU 16-4 in Gainesville last night. The game was called after 7 innings.
Yeah, Florida's really good, and it really is hard. Even in baseball, it's easier in baseball, but it's hard for the mid-majors to play these major teams. And again, JU will be okay in their league. Florida needed a bounce back after getting swept at Tennessee.
Without a doubt, we will get you out on our musical note of the day. Today, we pay tribute to legendary rock guitarist Randy Rhoads, who died in a plane crash at the age of 25. On this date, back in 1982, Rhodes co-founded Quiet Riot, but gained greater popularity with his work with Ozzy Osbourne. Rhodes was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021. This is Crazy Train.
Yeah, it is a great song, no question about it. This is a get up and move song. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. Well done on headlines.
Thank you.
Back to wrap the program after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NCAA basketball tournament beginning on Thursday with round one games around the country. The Duke Blue Devils are the betting favorite to win the NCAA title at plus 290, while the Florida Gators, who are the top seed in the West after winning the SEC championship, are plus 335. Auburn, another number one seed, at plus 550. The fourth number one seed, Houston, plus 675. Alabama is plus 2,000 to win the tournament. St. John's plus 2,200. Tennessee also at plus 2,200. On the women's side, South Carolina, the defending champions, are plus 240 to win the NCAA title. UConn is at plus 260. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Foods, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Years ago, when Harold and Harold was growing, we had a decision to make whether we were going to grow into the state or even beyond. And we decided that we were going to stay here in this community in Northeast Florida. That it's staying here and not looking at where's the next place that we can go or how can we get bigger, because bigger is not necessarily better. This is our home. This is where our families are. This is where our friends are. And this is where we're going to stay. Offices, Jacksonville.
Here's Linda Beaver.
At Beaver Chevrolet, we believe your experience should be more than just buying a car. It should be a lifetime of confidence, care, and trust. That's why we're proud to offer lifetime warranties and lifetime customer service. At Beaver Chevrolet, we're not just here to sell you a car. We're here to establish a lifelong relationship that you can always count on. It's simple. You deserve the best and shouldn't settle for less. Visit Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where we're ready to give you a peace of mind for a lifetime.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
The month of March makes us mad.
This is mass madness, you maniacs!
And we love it.
Got a 3!
Experience the madness with 1010XL.
Served up hot by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Florida Pest Control.
Spring is in the air. Time to wake up your lawn with Heroes Lawn Care. Say goodbye to pesky mosquitoes with their organic and spray treatments. Perfect for outdoor fun. Keep your lawn clean and fresh with their pet waste removal for homes and businesses. Heroes Lawn Care takes care of it all, from mowing, edging, fertilizer to irrigation and much more. Visit heroeslawncare.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Hey, this is David with Royal Pest Services. The fact that we've been bundled up the past month gave us an idea. Let's bundle up also with our Centricon and Pest Control bundle, starting at $349. Visit RoyalPestServices.com for your free inspection.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is Max Fink with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where we've been in the program today, we've talked a lot about the NCAA basketball tournament. We revealed our brackets. We can't wait for it to start. It starts in earnest tomorrow. More play-in games tonight. We'll certainly track that for you. We'll be at Dart Bar tomorrow, by the way. That's over there in that Riverside area. Come by and see us. We'd love to see you there. And then Strings at the Penman Road at Jacksonville Beach on Friday. But all of our shows are all over the place. We've got Helmets and Heels all over. We've got Prime Time all over. So we're really celebrating March Madness all over town. So we hope no matter where you are, what time you listen, you'll find one of our shows. You can see online all the various different locations. So we hope you'll come out and hang out with us. We talked some basketball. Lee Smith stopped by today. He is the executive director of the Players Championship, and it was great catching up with him. Talked about a wildly successful 2025 players, and can't wait to look ahead. He's also our golf analyst, and he'll be with us on a weekly basis talking golf with us, and we're certainly excited about that. So a lot of things to talk about today. We talked some football as well. Aaron Rodgers won't go to the Vikings. Cam Robinson did go to the Texans, and a whole lot more. And we said goodbye to Derek Gaffney, the one-time Gator. Again, part of that Gaffney family. Don Gaffney, Derek Gaffney, Warren Gaffney, Johnny Gaffney, all brothers, all of whom played at Florida. And so the Gator Gaffneys, Derek Gaffney dead today at the age of 69. And that is where we've been over the course of the program. I got a question for you.
Okay.
The people that couldn't stand Mike White on Gator Twitter are also not very big Scott Strickland fans. Okay, there's a lot of people down on Scott Strickland, the AD. If Florida goes to the Final Four, and I think they're going to, okay.
I mean, even if they don't,
but if they have, they win a couple.
But I get your point. Yeah, if they have a really spectacular year, yeah.
Okay, and football looks like he's got that roster built. Now it's a tough schedule, and they got to show it first. But let's say, for the sake of the conversation, football goes 10-2 and makes the playoff, which certainly is conceivable. I mean, I'm not saying it's the expectations, but they have the most loaded roster they've had in a long time. DJ Lagway, if he's healthy, and we'll see if he takes the next step. They also could win 6 or 7 games. I get that. But they won 8 last year. Let's assume they win 2 more, and for the sake of the conversation, at that point, does Scott Strickland go from the guy that in Gator Twitter isn't highly loved to do people say, wait a minute now, he hired Todd Golden, nobody knew that name.
Right.
He hired Billy Napier. That was a name. That was a hot name. Both of them are in the playoffs. Both are in the Final Fours, if you will, or whatever. Final Four, Final 12. He's built a state-of-the-art baseball stadium. He built a standalone football facility that allows Billy Napier to get all those recruits. He's rebuilt the Exact Arena to one of the best in the country in terms of playing environments. NIL is fully funded in a good place. Do people suddenly look up and say, guy's a pretty good AD?
How could they not?
How could they not?
I mean, yeah, I don't know how if Florida if your hypothetical comes true and Florida goes to the Final Four in men's basketball and they're good in football
and
then they win 10 games in football. Yeah, because I mean, you'd be looking at. I always think it's fun when you see the list of the schools that have the best football and basketball combo.
Right.
And when those lists really started to come out, they were sort of in vogue like 20 years ago. Florida was always very high on the list, if not one.
First.
Yeah, I mean, many years they were first because you had Billy and you had Urban for a good run. Well, yeah, I mean, if Todd Golden goes to a Final Four, so okay, I mean, you have to consider him one of the top 10 coaches in college basketball, even though he'd only be 3 years at Florida. So you'd have a top 10 basketball coach with the potential to climb much higher than that in the years to come, and a football coach that certainly seems like he's finding his way. I saw The Athletic did a top 25 best college football coaches. It was Mandel and Feldman, and neither one of them had Napier on it, which I understand.
I do too.
But if he wins 10 games, okay, then next year he's probably in the top 20, I would think, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, and again, and the important thing is, and trending upwards, ascending will be the direction of the football program. So how could you possibly have an issue with the athletic director?
Is anybody, by the way, related topic, other than Florida, in the last 30 years won both football and basketball? I know Michigan won 89 basketball and won a couple football since then. But has anybody else won both?
I don't think so.
Anybody? I can't think of anybody that's won both football and basketball.
I mean, Ohio State got to the final in basketball and lost to Florida.
Yeah, but has anyone won?
Just won the national title in football.
Yeah, has anyone won both? Again, Michigan won 89 basketball, and they've won 97 football and 2 years ago football.
Right.
So they, since the late 80s, have done both. Florida, of course, has done both twice. But has anybody else? I'm trying to think if there's anybody in the country that has won both in the last.
No,
but there's not.
Did Texas win in basketball?
I don't think they ever won. I don't think they ever won.
Didn't. He was only there 1 year. They actually got bounced kind of early in that tournament.
Yeah. I don't think Texas has won. I thought about them though. I was with you, JJ. That's the one that ran through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
LSU ran through my mind, but they never won in basketball.
No.
They went to a Final Four. I don't think anyone's done it. Because I've said this.
Well, your teams, the Kentuckys, Kansases, North Carolinas, of UConns of the basketball world,
right?
Don't do much in football.
Yeah, because I've said this, and I've told Jeremy Foley this. Jeremy Foley hired coaches that won football, basketball, baseball. In the history of in the future of sports, that'll never happen again. You'll never see a school win all three. I don't think you'll ever see a school literally win all three national championships under one AD ever again. You agree with that? Ever?
I think it could happen.
Even baseball?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's just hypothetically say, let's stick with
Bama wins basketball.
Yeah, well, no. I think there's some schools that can be good at all three.
Yeah, I think
win the title.
I mean, I think Tennessee has the potential to do that. We've seen it in baseball. Yeah. I mean, they're a 2-seed in basketball, and they made the playoff in football. So I get your point.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, but Texas, Tennessee, LSU, the schools that are good at football and baseball, Florida State, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, LSU, if they ever get good in basketball, it's possible. It's possible. But it's just
like if Sully left Florida and Napier ends up being the long-term answer for Florida, Golden obviously is, assuming they can hold on to him. Then if Sully retired or went to do something else, Scott Strickland, I would think, could hire a baseball coach that would at least give them the chance.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that'll be good at it.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if anyone wins all three. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if it ever happens again. Let's say hello to Rick Below.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
What do you think? You think anybody will win football, basketball, baseball again? Same.
In what? Same decade or same?
Yeah, same 20 years. What do you do?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the schools.
Yeah, those are the ones.
It's down here, outside of Texas and in Oklahoma.
And it has to be down here because of baseball.
Yep.
Anybody could get good in football and basketball. Not anybody, but I mean, but Notre Dame is rarely going to win baseball.
East Coast schools, no
Michigan,
way.
Yeah.
Midwest schools.
Because of baseball.
Yeah.
Because of baseball.
They're not going to win there, but
all right.
Yeah, it's hard. There's so many more challenges now with everything that's going on with the portal, but
Rick's right. Baseball is what makes that one hard. You could see a football, basketball title. You couldn't see baseball. Who'd you pick to win the national championship? Bryant? You got Bryant beating Michigan State, and then we'll go on to the whole way.
I'm not going to reveal that yet, but I got you guys.
You're coming on the show tonight, isn't it?
Deep. What's that?
It's coming on the show tonight.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
we'll reveal the brackets coming up tonight. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm wounded right now. I got a really sore throat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play through it.
Well, you do.
But my goodness, man, I felt like I needed the day off.
Yes.
But how can I take one? When it's on the eve of the tournament, for crying out loud.
Like if Baloo doesn't play hurt, nobody plays
That's what
hurt.
you know,
You kidding
man.
me? He'll be bloody. It'll be blood on his uniform.
It's a difficult gig for 2 hours.
He'll change his golf shirt, get the blood off, and keep right on going.
Especially when you got the sore throat. I don't know what it is. Pollen, maybe? Or
I've been sneezing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a sneeze.
I cut the lawn today, and I actually used the lawnmower as like a vacuum, just picking up leaves.
So you mow your own lawn?
Absolutely. I do my best thinking when I mow my lawn.
Have you always mowed your own lawn?
Always have mowed my lawn.
How about that?
Yeah.
You're just gritty and gutty. You're kind of like a farmer of
You know
sorts.
what? I enjoy the sweat, and it's a great time to really sit back and think when I cut the lawn.
You know, of all the times, I admire you even more. And
Outside of the fact that my GF is ordering me around and telling me what I'm doing wrong. Okay, that becomes a little bit distractful.
I get it. What's coming up tonight?
All right, we got a bunch of good stuff tonight. Something I'm going to bring up on Dion. Some folks are getting a little bit surly with me. I need to set them straight. So that's coming up. And, just I have this thought about the offensive line that I want to share. Right now, it's mysterious to me, especially after going out and signing their 10th free agent today. So we're going to kick into that as well coming up here.
All right, Rick Ballou goes into the night. It'll all be good stuff. You know that. That'll do it for our program. Tomorrow, the Dart Bar in Riverside. Come on by and say hello. A little bit of a barcade over there. It's supposed to be I've never been. It's supposed to be a fantastic place. Can't wait to get there. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.